这个全世界你吃不到这个口味。
Hello, hello. Let's go eat some of my favorite foods in Taiwan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Felisa and I'm going to show you my experience as a semi-local visiting and touring my own country. When I visited Taiwan this summer, I did have to hotel quarantine, but Taiwan is finally opening up its borders to tourists. So I hope you find some inspiration for your upcoming trip to Taiwan. I'm with my mom today and we're biking to buy some groceries and street food. Biking in Taiwan is a must-do. Even in the city, there are bike paths, bike rentals, and Google Maps to navigate around. There are a lot of parks and green areas like the Dadaoceng Wharf, Beitou, or anywhere in the countryside, but in the city it can be a bit hard to navigate since it's not a grid-like system like it is in New York City where I currently live, so make sure to use Google Maps to get around. There are also a lot of motorbikes on the streets who are generally more aggressive, so just be careful. The weather in Taiwan is generally more hot and humid. In the summers especially, it can get to 32 Celsius or 90 Fahrenheit, but with the humidity, it just makes it feel quite unbearable. I would suggest coming in the winter, with the low being 13 Celsius or 55 Fahrenheit, which is apparently, as I have learned in my time here in the US, not that cold and not considered winter here in New York City. A lot of my friends have made fun of me before for thinking that 13 Celsius or 55 Fahrenheit is winter. But you know what? It is when that's the coldest temperatures you've ever experienced growing up, okay? So let's just be a little more understanding and kind to people who are cold all the time. Alright, so food in Taiwan is the absolute best. Walking around or biking around, you'll find restaurants, cafes, local street vendors everywhere. The food is delicious, clean, and so affordable and cheap. We're going to buy one of my favorite meals. Brace yourself. It's called pig blood soup. So pig blood soup, or sometimes called red tofu, in Mandarin Chinese it's called 猪血汤, is one of my favorite dishes ever, and I get it every time I'm in Taiwan. I bring my own Tupperware for takeout, otherwise they put the hot soup in plastic bags, and my family and I are just not fans of that. It also helps us be more sustainable and use less plastics. Pig blood soup tastes like sweet tofu in a hearty, yummy soup. If you're not adventurous to try this, keep watching for other dishes you can try instead. We also picked up some dessert, tofu hua. I got sweet tofu and added a bunch of toppings on top. Then we picked up some pre-made dishes. There are just so many dishes, so colorful, so many greens, and so many different ways to cook things. You just choose what you want, they weigh it, and it's super easy, affordable to get a good meal. We bike home with all our goods, and here's the pig blood soup. The red tofu is so light, it's sweet, everything is just so flavorful, the soup is so hearty and just warms my heart every time. I swear it just tastes like tofu and soup. My mom made some hot pot, and here is the sweet tofu dessert with yam, mochi, and peanuts. I always get these toppings every time. It's just so light, so sweet, and such a great dessert. I just love Chinese food so much. There's so many variations in dishes and flavors and ways to make different things. Let me know if you have tried these before or if you're going to try it. I would love to hear from you. Next, I want to show you one of my favorite lunch spots for tomato beef noodle soup. Let's hop on the subway, or MRT, and it's so quiet, clean, and easy to get around. The price depends on the distance you go, but it's less than $1. As you can see, people are very respectful on the train. There are gates to prevent anyone from falling in. You line up outside the door and let those exiting off the train first. No one is blasting music out loud or eating. There's no trash or littering. There's no dancers and mice running around, and the signage and announcements are very loud and clear. Sorry, I just have so much trauma with the New York subway system and get reverse culture shock when I realize how quiet and orderly it is in Taiwan. We're getting off the train at the MRT station Dongmen to go to Yongkang Street. This street is known for eating and shopping. I walked down the street to go to Chinese classes at NTNU Sida during my gap year and would eat so much on my way, during, and after class with my fellow ABC classmates. I found my favorite beef noodle soup shop with tomatoes. The noodles are knife cut, so they're thick. The soup is so flavorful and a bit tangy from the tomatoes, which is a unique twist to the classic world-famous Taiwanese beef noodle soup. This area is also super cute and reminds me of the older, smaller streets of Japan. There are a lot of Japanese influences in Taiwan since Japan colonized Taiwan in the 19th century. I always spend hours walking into boutiques, shops, and everything is so cute, and stationery stores are my weakness. I love looking at all the stickers as well, even though I'm one of those people that gets stickers and don't stick them on anything. Yeah, I know there's memes about it now, and I'm gonna put one here so you can see what I mean. Even the Starbucks is so much cuter here. The boutique shops in Taiwan are influenced by Japanese and Korean fashion, so I always shop around and pick up some unique items I wouldn't be able to find in the US. Everyone knows how insanely good the night markets in Taiwan is, and if you don't worry, I'm going to show you. There are so many night markets in Taiwan. In any town or city, you will find a night market. Even when the weather is bad, like it's raining here, there will still be night markets. Night markets consist of many stalls lined up side to side. There are usually restaurants behind it, lots of shops selling knickknacks, technology accessories. There are also usually some fun games for kids. I always have a list of things I always have to get when I'm in the night market, but I also try to new things as well because it's impossible to have eaten at every stall. There's this street market that I go to called Ningxia Yesi. Yesi is night market. I really like this one because it's not too big. Some night markets like Siling, Rohe, Shida are huge with many streets and vendors, which is just a little overwhelming for me. But if you get the chance, check one of those out. I go to Ningxia and I usually buy everything to go and run home so I can eat in the AC while watching TV or chatting with my family. This stall says Taiwanese snack number 1. I don't know how it got the number 1, but I wanted to try these sweet potato balls and I mistakenly thought that there was cheese inside, which I was craving. I wasn't reading the Chinese and there's nowhere on here says cheese. I got it anyways and was struggling to choose what flavor to get. The chef recommended the plum flavor, so that's what I got. I then bought some dumplings for my mom. This man let me sample some fried chicken. Usually I just walk around and see what entices me, and walking around through the night market usually takes a while because there's a lot of people and usually just a single file moving line and everyone's looking at every stall and trying to decide if they want to get it or not, so it's a whole ordeal. So this might be a hot take, but I actually like going to night markets when it's raining a little bit because there's less people, it's less humid, but the only thing is it's difficult to eat outside. There's usually tables and chairs outside, but with the rain it's wet. So give and take, you know, I would take the rain over the humidity. Ooh, this stall is stinky tofu. Yes, it does stink. It's fermented tofu, deep fried, and they put pickled cabbage on as well, and it's just so good. As I was walking out of the night market, I see the sweet potato balls with the cheese inside, and I couldn't buy more sweet potato balls. I didn't end up buying it, but I think I crave cheese when I'm in Taiwan because I don't eat a lot of dairy because there's not a lot there unless you eat like Italian food or whatever, and usually I just try not to because, you know, I live in New York, so why would I eat Italian food? Anyway, did not get the sweet potato balls. I always buy boba or bubble tea from 50 Land before I head home. I checked out what like the top 4 flavors are currently, so I usually try to get one of those and then get a basic bubble tea as well. So here is my haul. I'll list everything on the screen. I always get oyster omelette. In Taiwanese, it's called oyce. It's made out of tapioca starch. There's eggs batter, greens. This sweet savory sauce gives it a good kick as well. It's just so good. I could eat this all the time as a kid. Okay, this next dish is called chicken butt, or in Mandarin, jipigu. It is the tail end of the chicken and it is fatty, it's good, it's soft. I love it. And here's the stinky tofu. See, it just looks like tofu. There's a lot of flavors and it's just sweet, salty, spicy with the chili. It's so good. You should definitely try it. Just don't smell it. That's duck tongue. It's also really good. Guess I wouldn't get anything that isn't good. This is liver. They usually make it with like a lot of ginger, so it's very gingery and I really like it. It's like chewy. That's pork trotters. It's so good. It's so fatty and you're basically just eating like the skin. As you haven't noticed, in a lot of Asian countries, we don't waste any of the food, the animals that we make and eat. So we eat like everything basically, and it's not weird. It's very normal and there is zero waste. So what do you think? Would you try these foods? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button and subscribe to follow me more on my adventures and travels all around the world, starting with Taiwan, because I want to showcase my lovely home country that I just don't spend enough time in. Next week, I'll show you some unique hidden gems in Taiwan, such as this temple completely made out of seashells, an alpaca cafe in the mountains where you can dine and eat alpacas. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. Thank you all!